everybody, today I'm gonna show you how to do the thermal stitch. The thermal stitch can be used to create a shoulder strap or strap in general for bags, as I'm gonna show you in this particular video. But in general, thermal stitch, since it's a really thick stitch, can be used to make towels, to make washcloths, to make kitchen towel, and etc. The difference you see here is simply the type of yarn I'm using. In this case, I'm using a worst weight acrylic yarn with a 6mm hook. In this case, instead, I'm using a thinner yarn, is a cotton yarn, and I'm using a 2mm crochet hook. So that's why you see the difference. So this will be attached to a bag, and this will just to show you how it works. You can see how I use this technique to create some shoulder strap for my bags. You can see now coming on the right the bags I did. In the description you can find the link to the patterns. Let's get started. We start with a slip knot, leaving a little bit of tail to weave in later. Now we are gonna do the number of chain that we want to for our project. In this case, I want to show you how to do a shoulder strap for a bag. So we are gonna do 9 chains. Our thermal stitch will be about 8 stitches. So let's go 9 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you can see we have 9 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we are gonna work in the second chain from the hook, but on the back of the chain. So the front of the chain has the little V's that you can see. But on the back, you will have these bumps. So we are gonna work not in the first bump, we are gonna work in the second one. And we are gonna work 8 single crochet in these bumps in the back of the chain. Will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we don't work on the first one, but we start to work on this second one. So we are gonna put our hook back from the front. Then again we turn the chain and we start to work on the second loop from the chain. So not this one, but this one. We enter the back loop, yarn over, through, yarn over, pull through. And this is our first single crochet. Now let's go for the second one, and we do in total 8 single crochet. And 8. Last one can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're tight. So just be patient and work on it. Perfect. So now we have 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we are starting with the thermal stitch. So what's gonna happen is we do 1 chain and we turn the work like we usually normally do rows. So I turn it like that and I work in the first stitch, but just in the back loop. So here. So you see that you have 2 loops, 1 and 2. This is the front loop, this is the back loop. So we are gonna work just inside this. So we take our hook, we work in the back of the loop, and then we are gonna take the back of the chain we did before, so like this, only this one, and we do a single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and let's repeat this until the end. So again, back loop this one, then if you follow you see that there is a loop free here. We are gonna take that one, pull through both, and you pull through both again. So to see better what happened in the back, you see that you will have back loop of a single crochet and the basically the front loop of the previous chain. But you see that if you work in the back of the chain, you will see this really clearly. And you have to follow the straight line from the top of the single crochet to see which one you have to take. So again, back loop and loop of the chain. And we finish the 8 single crochet. And the last one. So the last one can be a little bit tricky because, as you know, the last one is always hard. So this is the V, we enter in this one, and this is the last one. So let's enter in the back and in the loop from the chain. Oops. And we done the first row. Immediately you can see it's really thick. Now we're gonna do the same as before. So we chain 1 and we move our work, and we work in the first stitch just in the back loop, and in this big back loop you're gonna see now you see much better. So we're gonna work in all these back loop basically. So this is 1 back loop, is 2 back loop, and we go forward until we reach the all 8. When you arrive the last one, it can be a little bit tricky because you see that here you have, I'll show you better, here you have the turning chain. So sometimes you can't really see exactly where you are going, but if you see from close, this is the 2 V's of the single crochet and this is the turning chain, so you have to enter here. So back loop, and we take the back loop of the previous round. So now you will see much better how it works, because this one will be the stitch where you're gonna enter in the back loop, and this one will be the second loop you have to take. So when you go further with the work, it will be much easier to see and much faster. At the beginning it's hard. So let's go to do some other rows, and I will show you again another one, and then we meet when we have to close our strap. So again, chain 1, turn your work like a page of a book, and then back loop and the loop that you immediately see under, so this one. Take pause and chain. You will see that while you're working you are gonna get immediately the loop of the previous stitch, because now they are really close. You see here and here. So this is the back loop of our stitch, and this is the loop of the previous row. So they're really close, so it will be much easier for you to work with. Again, let's try again. So I enter here and immediately I go out here. So when you go further it will be much easier. Another suggestion I would like to give you is please don't be too tight, because it will be hard to manage the different loops. And especially if you are too tight, you will really struggle with the last stitch. I show you. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we are gonna do the 8th stitch, which it seems weird, you know, because again you have here the turning chain, so you're not gonna see really well where is the stitch, but it's actually here. So I show you better. So this is the turning chain, and if you open a little bit you can see that 1 and 2, these are the 2 V. So we are gonna enter here, but then we are gonna take the back loop of the previous row. So we are gonna carefully enter here. You see, this is our loop of the single crochet, and this is our loop of the previous row. So that's why I'm saying if you are too tight it will be hard to see that. So this is how it works, and you can see immediately how thicker it is comparing to other stitches. So what I'm gonna suggest to you is now go ahead for the length you need. For example, for a shoulder bag who stays on your size, the strap will be long around 1 meter. If it's your wrist, it can be like 40 centimeters. It really depends on what you want, but you can always regulate that and go ahead, reach your length, and then finish the work. So let's go ahead a little bit, and then I will see what you do when you reach your last row. Okay, here we are. Of course, in my case, I'm just doing a sample, but in your case it will be longer. But let's say you reach the length you want and you want to finish. So as you can see, from this side is really thick. On this side, we're still having a side which is not really thick, and we can still see the back loop of the previous row. So what we're gonna do is working basically the same, but instead of working on the back loop of the stitches, we work all the stitch. So let me show you. So we chain 1 as usual, we turn our work, but now instead of entering in the back loop, we enter like normal single crochet. We took both loop, and yes, we take as before the loop of the previous stitch. So now we will have actually 3 loops. So 1, 2, 3. We yarn over, pull through these loops, and we close our single crochet. And we go further for the other. So instead of going the back loop, we take all the stitch. We take also the back loop of the previous row, and we pull through 3 and pull through 2, and we close this. And let's finish the row. The last one, single crochet and back loop. So now we are done, and we see that the top is the same of the bottom. So what we are gonna do now is weave this end in, and we can just cut long tail here to attach this to our project. To close your work, you can leave it like that if you're gonna attach your work to something, but if you want to have a closure and have a piece closed, you can actually do in the same single crochet you just made, just a slip stitch. And then you cut your yarn. In this case, I'm cutting a short tail just to show you, but you will probably cut a long tail to sew things together. And fasten off, and you're done. And your thermal stitch project is done. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please put a like and subscribe my channel if you didn't already. And in the description of the video you will find the links of all the projects I made with this thermal stitch as strap for bags. Have a nice day!